Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, British woman charged following cocaine seizure at airport. A British national has been charged for breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act in relation to the seizure of a quantity of cocaine at the Sanctuary International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James. Fena Renamo, 25, was charged on Thursday with a possession of cocaine, dealing in, attempting to export, and a conspiracy to export cocaine. She was charged following an interview in the presence of her attorney. She is scheduled to appear before the St. James Parish Court on June 26 to answer to the charges. It is reported that sometime before 4 o'clock on Sunday, she attempted to board a flight destined for the United Kingdom when her luggage was searched. During the search, 1.6 kilograms of cocaine were allegedly found concealed in false compartments inside wooden craft items. The drug reportedly has a street value of $7.5 million. She was subsequently taken into police custody. 2 women arrested after illegal gun seized in St. James. 2 women were taken into custody in St. James on Thursday following the seizure of an illegal firearm under Operation Storm. The operation was launched in the parish on Wednesday. The police reported that a Taurus 9mm pistol with 5 rounds of ammunition was seized at Book Hill, New Ramble during a targeted joint police-military operation. The women were arrested on reasonable suspicion of possession of a prohibited weapon. In the probing brawl at Hunts Bay's lockup involving inmates and the police. Calm has returned to the cell block of the Hunts Bay police station following a clash between detainees and the police earlier on Thursday. 5 detainees were injured and were taken to hospital for treatment. Superintendent Damian Manderson, head of the St. Andrew South Police Division, told the news that police personnel on the cell block were attempting to quell a fight among the detainees sometime after 3 o'clock Thursday morning when they came under attack.
The team attempted to enter and to quell that dispute, which they identify as a fight that was happening in there when they were met with resistance by a number of inmates. They attempted to treat to the situation, realized they needed assistance, support was called upon, and that came, and they managed to restrain the prisoners. At the end of it, at least 5 prisoners complained of pains and other injuries. They were taken to Kingston Public Hospital under guard, of course, where they were all treated.
Superintendent Manderson said one of the detainees, who was injured by a cellmate, remains hospitalized. The Independent Commission of Investigations is probing the incident. Health Ministry concerned about rising deaths among pregnant moms and infants. The Ministry of Health says it is concerned about the increasing number of pregnant women dying during deliveries. The issue was raised Wednesday by opposition spokesman on health Dr. Alfred Dawes. Dr. Dawes reported that there is now a significant increase in neonatal infant and maternal mortality rates on the island. He said more mothers and newborns are dying due to the breakdown in the country's health care system. Speaking Thursday at a Ministry of Health press conference, Chief Medical Officer for Health, Dr. Jacqueline Besesa McKenzie, said the data is worrying. She said a number of factors have led to the increase in deaths among mothers and their babies, including the rise in or hypertensive disorders or diabetes during pregnancy.
In terms of the rise in or hypertensive disorders in pregnancies, for example, or diabetes in pregnancy, or mothers are choosing, or women are choosing to have births later. And as it is that women get older, then they're more likely to develop chronic disorders, which puts not just themselves, but the babies at risk. And I pointed out as well in terms of the nutrition, in terms that we're not paying attention as we used to some of the nutrition issues. And so we find that we have a lot of women who are anemic. We also have a problem with obesity. Overweight and obesity is now 1 in 2 in our population. 1 in 2 persons are either overweight or obese. That BMI level affects the pregnancy as well, and affects the development of disorders that leads to premature deliveries, that leads to smaller babies, low birth weight babies who have a tendency not to do so well. This is not something that is good, and I mean, it's something we have a discussion about almost every day, in saying, how do we bring down these numbers? I mean, as I said, going into this June, July, August period, we would have had that discussion with our hospitals. What is the extra that we can do? How it is that we make sure that none of the problems that we would have encountered in previous years, we have those problems again. So we are trying. We recognize the problem. It's very, very glaring for us. We recognize the factors that can contribute to it, and we are working. We would have increased the capacity, for example, at Mandeville Regional Hospital, at St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital, at Cornwall Regional Hospital, and at Bustamante and KPH, Victoria Jubilee. We would have brought in some of the Promax spaces. Even though we have the ventilators, our maintenance of the HDU and ICU spaces is dependent on having the staff. And so you will find that we expand and then we contract.
Man who got a controversial surgery dies. Kenneth Mary, whose story gained national attention after undergoing a controversial surgery during his time in prison, has passed away. According to his common-law wife, Karine Brown, he died on Tuesday because of complications from kidney failure and a B12 deficiency. She attributes his ailment to medical negligence, allegedly linked to a surgery performed at the Kingston Public Hospital in 2004. Mary had publicly condemned the surgery, in which a significant portion of his small intestines was removed without his consent. In a letter addressed to the media, Mary detailed the ordeal, stressing the lasting impact on his health. His efforts to seek redress through legal channels faced numerous hurdles, including a long wait to find his missing medical file. In an emotional interview with the news, Brown recounted the recent events leading to Mary's death. She described how he had been increasingly weakened by the surgery's aftermath, necessitating frequent hospital visits since he was pardoned by the Governor General in 2011 on medical grounds. This time he got very, very sick, very weak, so we carried him back to the Kingston Public Hospital. He got admitted Friday, and he died Tuesday. They were treating him, but he didn't make it, she said. Mary was released from the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center after serving 15 years for murder, a crime for which he maintained his innocence. In a 2015 story, he said that he developed a stomach infection while incarcerated. He was first sent to the Spanish Town Hospital, but later transferred to KPH. After his surgery, he returned to prison, but alleged that he missed the follow-up appointments because of prison transport issues. After his release, he said he returned to KPH in 2012, but was told that his file could not be found. He said that he was scheduled to do 2 surgeries, including one for hemorrhoids, but he said the surgeries were repeatedly delayed. In 2016, Mary finally received his file after a worker who allegedly found the file in a bin at the hospital handed it over to Mary and his spouse. Brown believes that if Mary's hospital file had been found sooner, he would have gotten proper treatment earlier. She expressed a deep sorrow over the loss, particularly for their 10-year-old son, whom Mary adored. I was there right when visiting time, right before him take him last breath. Him tell me to take care of Joshua. Him love him Joshua. Right in front of me Mary did. Him barely open him eye and look pon me, because him did start swell. When the kidney gets bad, the body starts swelling, so his face started to swell, she said. Brown told the news that Mary was robbed of half of his life. When he lived abroad before, he lived a good life, but that changed the moment he came to Jamaica, and they put him in prison wrongfully, and then mess him up with the surgery. They might think because he is dead it's done, but I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up, because his case reached mediation, she said. With the case now awaiting a date for a case management conference, she remains determined to see it through. Reflecting on their life together, she painted a portrait of Mary as a compassionate man who was devoted to his family and advocacy for justice, a fight she will carry on. Poor people always have to suffer when challenging the government. I will not rest, she said. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.